Watching poor people helps me forget about feeling lonely for a short period of time. Don't get me wrong. A more surprising and therefore interesting characteristic of watching poor people is that it makes me feel rich, but then again, the first and the second characteristic are connected. But I still believe watching poor people doesn't affect my purpose of sticking together and helping each other out. What I really want to say is, in a certain way watching poverty only touches your eyes. Even if you are an empathic person, it doesn't always make you feel sad, you know. You might be sensitive to what you see, and caring and empathic and all that. Maybe you've got those qualities, maybe not, but it still doesn't change anything about the fact that these homeless people are in precarious situations, and we, are probably comfortable, clean, well-fed, and with a roof above our heads. In a certain way watching poverty only touches our eyes. I mean our eyes probably don't bother us that much. We are not always that comfortable because the world has become a crazy place, but this seat is comfortable anyway. Even though this is the case, I still believe looking at these images doesn't affect the purpose of sticking together and helping each other out, but that depends on everyone's personal ideas, beliefs, and actions. According to me, solidarity does not depend on the fact that you do or do not enjoy watching this, because just watching doesn't change anything, besides touching your eyes. Solidarity, if there is any, depends on your personal ideas, beliefs and actions.
Il y en a qui cherchent des mondes inouïs. Oui, mais moi je n'aime que celui-ci. S'il y a des abeilles plein le ciel, c'est pour s'occuper de mon miel. Et l'herbe tendre est si généreuse qu'elle vient me tendre des fourmis gracieuses pour mon petit déjeuner. Le minimum va, mais ça ne manquera pas pour toi et moi.
Nobody bother about anything. Why should we? Did you forget to lock the door when you left your house this morning? Maybe you don't remember, and not remembering if you locked the door when you left is a bad start of the day. You might not remember a lot of things, because not bothering your head about anything is your goal. And not only that, but your goal also has a purpose, to make me forget about every little move I make, every little step I take, and it will haunt me all day until mental disease is the tool to put me aside of the world, aside of life, and aside of my right to be worthy. And you will pursue that goal even if we reach a common blackout, even if a whole crowd or even a whole country becomes brainless in the sense that everybody forgets about everything they do, even what they've done just seconds ago. Even if I'm not actually mentally ill, you will put me aside anyway, because a person that tends to forget things loses every credibility, and that's all it takes to make them believe that this person is not trustworthy. Better be safe than sorry, they say. And it's safer to doubt his mental health than to trust it. You will haunt us all day until we black out, even if it means the whole country must burn, even if it means the whole country must be swallowed in the depths of hell. Your goal is, nobody bother about anything. I can state it otherwise, the weak deserve the worst. And how are they gonna find their way? Not like this. Not by losing the ability to remember. And certainly not by losing the ability of sheer thinking. I don't wonder if people truly understand which side I'm choosing when I explain things from the evil people's point of view. There's just no way to explain it otherwise. I know what people think. Where does this come from? There's no reason to start pretending all this shit. No, of course. There's no reason to start pretending all this shit except the bottom of hell. But people never consider the bottom of hell as a reason to start pretending things. let alone believe in things. That's the problem of mankind. When people start to reason, and start to link one idea up to another, and so on, they always start with positive ideas like, everything will turn out fine. And we believe in the fundamental kindness of the nature of human beings, and so on. And even if someone would have the crazy idea to do otherwise, and use one or more negative ideas as a starting point to reason and link one idea up to another and so on, he won't get very far, because using a negative idea, like the bottom of hell, as a starting point, is unbearable. I think the only reason why it is nearly impossible is not because it is fiction, or false. No, I don't think it's a question of true or false. I just think it's unbearable. Because you may connect as much ideas as you like to the first idea, which is a negative idea. None of the ideas that are connected to the first one will change the fact that the idea you start with is a negative idea. That's very hard, and people are not likely to do this because you always end up with the feeling that it makes no sense at all. Nevertheless, I think a person that manages to use a negative idea, like the bottom of hell, as a starting point, could actually have a clear view and come to a better understanding of reality.